living like the winner do.
See me with the crew, had to get some food. I see you looking like you do. Had to make a move. Still I gotta grow in a Jimmy Choo. Break the rules, no you're not a fool, but I'm in the mood.
Hi, I'm Nid Almighty with the new edition of Rikers Island News with stories coming from the daily news about Rikers Island. Here today, we're going to talk about an influx of officers not going to Rikers Island, and inmates have been forced to take control of their own dorms and houses in Rikers Island, as reported by rapper 2 Milli of Brooklyn, I think. Now, we're going to read some news reports and see exactly what's been going on, as increasing reports show that Rikers Island is getting more dangerous and officers due to COVID, and let's keep it real, officers using COVID as an excuse to not have to go to work. As these things are transpiring, inmates have been forced to run the halls and run the dorms themselves with no officers in sight. Now, this report here comes from New York Daily News. Are you ready? A staff shortage at Rikers Island left 2 jail units without correction officers for more than 24 hours Tuesday and Wednesday, a prisoner reported. And the city oversight board said the ongoing personal problems factored in a wave of suicides in the jail since December. 2 Rikers units, known as 3 West and 3 North, and the Otis Banton Correctional Center, were without corrections officers through at least noon Wednesday, leaving inmates in the strange position of helping other inmates get to court, transport, and video conferences, says Terrence Ferguson, the hip-hop artist known as 2 Milli. We are really running the dorm by ourselves. I've never seen anything like this, says Ferguson, which is serving a sentence for gun possession. Ferguson said Wednesday afternoon that there had been no officer on his floor since 6 a.m. Tuesday. I've been answering the phones, he says. The 2 unarmed units Ferguson spoke of together house about 80 prisoners. Department of Correction officials declined comment on whether parts of Rikers have gone unguarded for longer than 24 hours, but the department has acknowledged personal shortage, which has blamed on a large number of sick or unavailable staff. Corrections officials have said that in July, about 5,500 of Rikers' 8,500 officers either called in sick or medically exempt from working with detainees. Another 2,500 simply didn't come into work at some point during the month. These gaps are a regular occurrence, and it's a prime reason why officers are being attacked and inmates aren't getting the services they need, a correction department source said of the 24-hour gap reported by Ferguson. Rikers' population has roughly doubled since July 2019. You can't expect the population to double with fewer people to provide those services, and that's not going to happen, says the source. Meanwhile, the city's Board of Correction noted for a statement Wednesday that Rikers went without any suicides at all in 2018, 2019, and 2020 up to December. Since December, 5 prisoners have taken their own lives. Brandon Rodriguez, 25, hung himself in an intake cell at the Otis Banton Center on August 10th. Segundo Gulapa, 57, was found dead by suicide in his cell at the North Infirmary Command on August 30th. Previously, William Diaz Guzan, 30, hung himself January 25th. Thomas 48, died March 2nd, and Javier Velasco used a bed sheet to hang himself in the cell at the Anna M. Forrest Center on March 19th. Now, briefly, sidebar. Rest in peace to the dearly departed. No matter what happened to them, these people took it upon themselves to take their lives. Condolences to their families, but back to the story. 5 suicides in 9 months, along with an alarming increase in attempted self-harm, signals a crisis for persons in custody and for the New York City Department of Correction, the board said. The board called on the city to move fast to improve conditions, noting that absent and unavailable staff has created unsafe conditions for Rikers employees and detainees, but the board didn't offer proposals to address the issues. Roughly 55% of correction officers were out sick or prevented from working with the jail population at the end of July, the board said. The board also called for a reduction in the jail population, while law enforcement officials had blamed bail reform laws passed in 2020 for an increase in violent crime over the past year. As long as the population steadily rises and the staffing crisis continues, persons in custody and those who protect and work with them are in an impossible position, the board said. The situation at Rikers also drew a call for a reduction in the jail population by Akeem Browder, brother of Khalif Browder, who died by suicide at age 22 in 2015 after spending 3 years on Rikers Island as a teen, much of it in solitary confinement. He noted that counting the 5 reported suicides, 9 people have died in the jail since December. No one in the city jails received a death sentence, he said. Since the city is unable to provide the most basic care to keep people healthy and alive, everyone in the city jails must be released and not one more person should be sent to this hellhole. DLC officials said they planned a news conference Thursday to address the staffing and other issues. By Wednesday afternoon, Ferguson said no additional staff has arrived in the units at OBCC. We're still here right now, still answering the phone, still sending guys to court, sending video court, he said. And that's the news report that we have. Now, listen, so my personal opinion on the situation is, due to COVID and the emergency going on with COVID, you probably have a bunch of people that are sick, but I would likely say that even more people are using it as an excuse to not go to work. It's as simple as that, because they don't give a damn about the inmates. Now, on another end, even though there's always going to be violence in Rikers Island, the fact that dorms and houses have gone, 24, 48 hours without officials in there, to referee situations and stuff like that, and the fact that they're not saying that violence has increased in those dorms, then it's safe to say that inmates are not as vicious, or they don't have to be as vicious as one would assume based off of the fact that, people view them as criminals and property of the state, being that they're locked up. And I want to salute those brothers, especially people like 2 Millie, if he's one of those brothers who chose to be a leader and less of an oppressor, and chose to help his own brothers, for better or worse, for lack of a better term, get organized, and in times like this is where you see where the true leaders are, It's getting real bad at Rikers Island, and how I feel is that it's like this, something real bad is gonna happen. Somebody may get murdered. It could be an inmate. It could be an officer because of lack of staffing. Something bad is gonna happen, and then some drastic measures are gonna have to be taken. Hopefully it isn't so harsh that it's unjust on the inmates there, because not everybody in Rikers Island are just terrible, bad, evil people. Some people, are just lacking information, the information that they need to better themselves. You may have, the predators and the other people like that are in there, but a lot of other people, they may just be in there for drug charges, because they were just trying to make some money to, pay their mother's rent, buy school clothes for their children. If you ask me, one of the solutions I could say, which is that whoever they have in there that are for nonviolent crimes, maybe they should allow those men to go home while they're fighting their charges. put them on house arrest, give them ankle monitors, to make sure that they don't run away, and do it like that, because it's just gonna get dangerous. Cause best believe for every person who like they say is like a 2 milli who is choosing to be a leader and helping inmates do certain things, there's gonna be twice as many guys that are the opposite of that, that's gonna take advantage of this opportunity to do anything from extorting inmates to physically beating on other inmates, knowing that they're gonna get away to it. Anything up to, sexually assaulting other inmates. And hopefully this thing gets resolved. But I feel like Rikers Island should die. Die. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how I feel. It's Nate Almighty. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace.